Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Cindy. So I'm going to just read a little bio. She's got a really long bio, so I'm trying to shorten it because she's an amazing woman. So I'll do a quick intro and then I'll hand over to Cindy. So Cindy is a distinguished global business leader, entrepreneur, advocate for women's empowerment. She's the founder of the global president of the Circle of Business Women, an international organization dedicated to advancing women in leadership, business, and global markets. Cindy is also the founder of the group chair of the PP Africa Group of Companies, founder of the African Investment Summit, and has collaborated with leading institutes, including the World Economic Forum, International Chamber of Commerce, and the Commonwealth. She previously served as the Treasurer General of the Black Business Council. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Cindy, and she's going to give us a wonderful talk on what she's busy with, particularly the Circle of Global Business Women and the collaboration that's taking place between the Chamber and
Wow.
welcome, Cindy. I'll hand
Thank
over to
you.
you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. I was so excited because I had a very powerful networking session with one of my brothers here in South Africa, focusing on infrastructure. That's the power of networking, because a very good friend of mine used to say that if you're not networking, you're not working. So today I found myself working in the networking session. Thank you very much for creating this platform. Yeah, is what my colleague has just alluded to. I'm Dr. Sindiswa Mzamo, the global president of an organization called the Circle of Global Business Women, a global network of intelligent women who are innovative in their endeavors and also authentic in their endeavors, and creating that leadership shift globally, and making sure that women take their rightful positions in the marketplace. And also, I think what is really profound about us is also that we support the rise of women in any sector, which are women leaders, be it globally, be it in the continent, be it in any member state in the continent, and also in other continents globally. And also we embodied that female wave of change and the power circle of the women that are leading change. And that's who we are as the Circle of Global Business Women, a network of professionals, a network of academias, a network of scientists, a network of business women that are taking themselves to global markets. Then I think we founded this organization in 2021 during COVID. Jason, I was scared of dying. I always tell people. And the only solution for me to run away from death was founding the Circle of Global Business Women during COVID. We are now in 150 countries globally. Amazing. And by end of this year, we're aiming to be in 200 countries globally. And by grace of God, I always say to the board, the global board, that will definitely make it. So now what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the power of technology. How can we use technology to elevate our initiatives to the next level? Now, if you look at the Circle of Global Business Women, there are three pillars, which is innovation, leadership, and also empowerment. We have trained women to serve on boards. We have partnered with GAPS, the university, the GAPS University, where we trained about 50 women on entrepreneurship during COVID. And these women now, they're running sustainable businesses that are taking themselves to global markets. Now, I always say to people that when we founded the Circle, it was not many of us as women leaders that were in global platforms. We were actually taking ourselves to those global markets. And that's how I connected with the South African Chamber of Commerce in the UK, which is a story that I'll finish about it.
Yeah, and
also,
that.
Yeah, and when we founded the Circle, we launched it on the 15th of April in the Republic of South Africa. An opportunity came from the South African High Commission in London, and also from the South African Chamber of Commerce in London, to host the global launch of the Circle of Global Business Women. Guess who actually anchored me for the launch, to give me the voice to speak to the world? We were oversubscribed that day. I think we're sitting over about 1,000 of women globally. it was Stuart, and Stuart is still here in this platform today, anchoring me. That's a power of collaboration. That's a power of partnerships. So when the invitation came, I literally did nothing. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the UK did the invitations in partnership with the South African High Commission in London, working with the former High Commissioner, our dearest sister, Tembi Tambo, and I really, salute and honor her for the great job. And I remember the first meeting that I had with the presidency in the Republic of South Africa. And they actually told me, Cindy, you are bringing His Excellency President Ramaphosa in this launch, and you must make sure this organization survives. And there's no way that you can bring the president to launch this initiative, and 3 years down the line, the organization is no more. I can attest to that. I met His Excellency, the President Ramaphosa, at the South Africa Investment Summit here in Sandton. And I told him, I'm still surviving and the organization is still standing. And he says, we knew that you're going to actually make it. We knew that you're going to actually be the best of the best in the marketplace. So I really thank Stuart, the South African Chamber of Commerce, and the South African High Commission for launching the organization. If they didn't identify me, that's the power of collaboration and networking. Now, coming back to Ubuntu, what is Ubuntu?
Yeah.
How do we relate to one another? Yes, this is one of our core values as the Sector Global Business Women, because we believe in Ubuntu. Because when you actually speak about Ubuntu, I am because you are. So when you say I am because you are, we are at the same level. We engage at the same level. And I always tell people and to our listeners and the audience virtually that you can't do business with somebody that you don't know. I want to see you. I want to know who you are, but also connect with you spiritually. Because that's another thing that is very important, Jason, that business people at times don't take it seriously. That you gotta have to connect with people spiritually, because we're not physical beings, we're spiritual beings. For me to do business with you, I need to align and be at the center. That's why we always speak about spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is the most powerful tool for business people to conduct their businesses with integrity and dignity.
Yeah.
So for me now, as I speak right now, I'm connected to the World Economic Forum. I serve in the World Economic Forum Strategic Intelligence Committee. Now, I don't talk about when we were launching, but I'm talking about the activities that we are doing now. I work with the International Chamber of Commerce. In fact, the Sector Global Business Women is actually serving in a chamber called the Climate Coalition Chamber, which is a partnership of business and the UNFFFC, which is the United Nations Task Force on Climate Change. So as the Sector Global Business Women, we are members. And also recently, you know, that the ministers of trade were meeting with the World Trade Organization. And also we were part of the global business chambers that submitted that we need to actually focus on the digitization of trade so that we'll be able to actually focus in a lot of trading activities as women, but as also as international chambers globally. And how do we make sure that women take their rightful position? So my role at the International Chamber of Commerce, it speaks to inclusion. And also my role at the World Economic Forum speaks to inclusion of men and women. Now, when it comes to parity, we don't talk about gender-based violence, Jason, but we talk about positive masculinity. And I always tell people that what is positive masculinity? It's you, Jason, that has given me this opportunity to come and talk about the Sector of Global Business Women. It's men that support women. For therefore, at the Sector of Global Business Women, we don't compete with men. We have a chapter called the Sector of Global Businessmen. In fact, you must meet our global president, Jacques Nel. He's actually based in the UK. He's also a former Oxford lecturer in London. Yeah,
Love to meet him.
So this is who we are. You know, when I'm sitting in this platform, I'm reminded by a powerful man that changed my life, that made my life to be so possible in global markets. When I founded the Sec of Global Business, when in 2022, in October, I still remember the former Prime Minister of Belgium, Andre de Croo. He's now the administrator of the United Nations Development Program. He actually managed to trace me through the Belgium embassy in the Republic of South Africa. And he wrote a book that the future is women. And I had to go and receive the book at the Belgium embassy in the Republic of South Africa. You know, what really inspired me was the powerful strategy that he brought on board, that we must understand the role of women in the marketplace. They're already powerful, but what you need to do is you need to create an enabling environment for them to thrive. I see my chairman from the Global Opportunities Committee from the Atlanta Business Chamber, Ricardo Paris, is in the platform. Hello, Ricardo. And that's Ricardo as well. He has actually appointed me to be the regional lead of Lesotho. And between the US and Lesotho, looking at the Atlanta Black Chambers, opening up trade for entrepreneurs between Lesotho and the United States of America. So these are the opportunities that we are talking about. That's Ubuntu, because Ricardo demonstrated Ubuntu when he saw me in these platforms that we always actually had to meet together and say, so Cindy, I need to work with you. I need you to go and unlock opportunities for Lesotho entrepreneurs. That's Ubuntu. And because Ricardo met me in a platform where there was a need for him to exchange that conversation, and I jumped into the conversation. So now it clearly shows that when you are networking in the right platforms, you'll be able to sell your business. And I think for me, what is critical at the moment is to actually identify what is your strategy, what is your vision, where are you going? So you'll be able to actually take a step back and be able to actually look at the right people that you want them to partner with you. So you don't just don't be a conference goer, be strategic. I was strategic when I met Ricardo, and knowing who he is one of the gentle giants in the US when it comes to, a marketing guru, and that has turned, the US market into actually assisting a lot of entrepreneurs. Now, the other thing is that, Jason, is
Cindy,
to actually look at the networks that we have.
I want to give people a chance to ask some questions, because there's some really, really interesting insights that you've given us today. And I concur with everything that you've said. And, I'm passionate about Ubuntu, about networking, about connecting. And that's something that I can see you live and breathe. How does one get involved with the Circle of Global Businesswomen? Is there a membership? Is there a website? Do you log on? Do they contact you? How does one get involved with the Circle of Global Businesswomen?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jason. Yes, we do have an annual membership, and our email address is cindy@cgpw.online.
It's amazing what you're doing for women in business. And I come from the real estate background back in South Africa, and the Women's Property Network was formed, I think, in the early 2000s, and it was an amazing initiative that was put in place to empower women and assist women in business, because we know the legacy, it has always been male dominated, and we need to create that equality. Thank you for your hand is up. Unmute yourself and please ask a question through to Cindy.
Thank you. Hi, Cindy's. My name is Ria. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your talk this afternoon. I think as a Black South African female living in the UK who, left her home country to build a different life for herself and her children, and to hear you speak today is so inspiring and very, very motivational. I am actually also part of a women's group called Africa Malkia Initiative, And just
Yeah.
hearing you talk right now almost reaffirms what we are doing as women. And we need to keep going, because
Yeah.
our voice are needed in society, and our intelligence and our care. Thank you.
Yeah. What I can say to you, Ria, keep on showing up and be present all the time, no matter what. And keep that smile. And I always tell people, education, the real goal of education, it's about character and intelligence. Keep on upgrading yourself because your next position, it needs a different character. And for you to get that character is for you to empower yourself by reading and making sure that you present yourself very well. There's this thing that says, first impressions last. Keep it.
Yeah.
And you gotta have to be very precise and straight to the point. Your first impression of somebody that you want to make a business engagement or business transaction, it will last forever. You'll hear phone calls coming, being referred because it was that first impression that you gave. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you for that question, Ray. And are you involved with the SA Chamber at all? You should connect with us. It'd be great to
Yes,
get
I
you.
will. I will not yet, Jason. But I was just sharing in the breakout that I've joined the virtual sessions, but I'd
Oh,
definitely
good.
love to
Great. So hopefully we see
join.
you at a in-person event. And thank you, Cindy, so much for your passion and your time and your
Thank you.
energy. And I look forward to
Thank you.
collaborating with you in future.